Bishop Zac. We have a question that is a difficult one for I think many of the marriages that a lot of us are in. Finances seem to be the cause of many conflicts in marriages. Why is this the case?
Yeah, it is, and Theodore and I, in the many years of supporting marriages, hearing marriage stories, that is true. In our own life, certainly some of the moments when we've needed to talk honestly has sometimes been around managing the little money or the whole area of property. I think that the question of finances in a marriage, my view, my experience over the years, is not about money per se. It's not even about how much or how little. Although I need to say this, that in our experience, the more money there is sometimes in a relationship, actually the greater potential for conflict. I think it's possibly the case, and this again we've experienced, that when couples have little money between them, they seem to find easier communication around money than there is when money grows. But that itself points us to what may be the root cause, which is this: not the amounts, little or much, but the value that may be attached to money. So for example, many cultures attach being a husband to being a provider. So to be a husband, the identity of a man in a home is being a provider. That therefore means that you are the earner. You are earning. It puts pressure.
Breadwinner.
Okay. That word.
You bring the bread.
Breadwinner. So the assumption that a man is the breadwinner. So imagine what it does, and it is true. When you are socialized, steeped into that mode in which there is an attachment of being a man, breadwinner, husband, and then the economy is such that, COVID has shown it, the business disappears. And so you're not able to be that breadwinner. You're not able to be. It creates a crisis of identity. What kind of husband am I? What kind of man am I? And if the wife, the spouse, thought of you in that sense, when you lose money, you are not able to provide, what kind of man are you? And simply that creates tension. So that I find to be one on one side. But on the other, the value that may be attached to money and decision making. Sometimes this idea of the breadwinner, the provider, seems to imply that men are therefore the decision makers vis-a-vis how money is spent, vis-a-vis development. In fact, I know a dear friend of mine who once, I don't know whether it was a joke or serious, when he said, I earn 90% of the income in our family. Therefore, I have 90% veto power. And I know in that relationship, the earning power changed. And once the earning power changes, veto power shifts. And it actually shifted. So it changed. The man's earning reduced to 60%, 40%. That means the veto power, and so on and so forth. That creates a problem. Should then, which does happen, the woman now earns more than the man. So now the woman will say, who has the veto power? I decide how money is spent. But also that whole question of veto power and money and decision making actually creates a situation in which women, and it could even be men, becomes the beggar. Because you have money, you are the one to decide how it's spent. And therefore the one who doesn't have money is literally turned into a beggar in the relationship. And there are many women, and actually even men, who've come and said, I am even afraid of asking for fuel. I'm even afraid of asking for airtime.
One even said asking for sanitary pads.
Oh God.
Or money to buy a deodorant.
Yeah.
It can get that bad.
No, it does. So it's the value attached. So the conversation for a couple in this place is to actually step back and say, what does money mean for you, your identity, and in this relationship? Because I think it's not even the whole idea that you have separate accounts. Because we know people, couples, they have the same account, but they still have conflicts over money. And they want to follow my money in the, my money in the account, my money, my money. And I think that really the thing to cultivate in a marriage relationship is that the money is ours together. Now, there are other couples who say, your money will pay for this. My money will pay for this. And I think that that's also a challenge, because suddenly, if my money can no longer do this, there is a problem. Friends of mine came to me and said, my money ran out. And then I started borrowing because I couldn't come back, because we agreed, my money does this, your money does this. I think that one of the ways to move away from this is to be able to recognize that money in a marriage, money in a family, is to enable us achieve what we believe together. What we believe together. Bringing up children, building income for the family, developing for the family. So you both decide together, this our money will be managed this way. Now, it's possible to be able to say, you will manage this, I will manage this. But it's about management. It's not about power. And therefore, you are mutually accountable to one another, not for the money I earn or the money she earns, but actually we all earn it. Because and women make a very good point, who do not have a paid job. And that's why in the feminist movement, they are arguing, okay, you pay us for
that time at home.
The time at home, the cooking, the babying, and people are now discussing how women are the least paid. Yeah. They do a lot of work. And part of the reason is we've attached certain value that you have value when you bring in money, cash. The paper. The money into the account, or money into, and I think it's to be able to say all the resources are ours to achieve what we believe together is good for our marriage, good for our family, good for our future, good for our children. And I think that diffuses challenges of identity, self-esteem. I know many men whose self-esteem has crashed because they associated being men in the family with having money. Yeah. So I think come to it with, money is not your root of identity. It's about money's value is to make us achieve what we both desire for our marriage, for our family, for our children, for our future, and for the world. Yeah. Because I think that there are too many marriages, too many men, families that are too preoccupied with their own and are not giving and being generous, blessing other people. And I think that those values need to be cultivated together as husband and wife.
I know that our time is almost up, but maybe in the next one we could revisit, the question around if there's already trust maybe broken in the marriage. And say, for example, your worry, would be that the money that we are agreeing on to spend together, someone could be giving that money to maybe another family they have on their side, an extra, marital affair here and there. So if there's already mistrust in the relationship, how do you then navigate that? Is it still as...
So really the issue is not money. The issue is trust. Money is just a tool. So the question is, where did this trust break down? What is the source of the breakdown of trust that causes him or you or whoever use the money the way they use it? Of course, there is no question that money is used for the things that you attach certain value to. Money buys value. Money buys experience. So it's very important, therefore, to have a conversation about value. And that's why I said that as a marriage and as a family, it's important that you cultivate shared values, shared hopes and dreams, ambitions for children, for family. That way, even trust is built around the things you believe together. The imagination you have about each other and about the future.
All right.
But yes, to be continued.
I get a feeling there'll be, I'm not sure people will be satisfied, to be honest. But
Because
I think
you are
we'll stop
not.
here. We'll stop here.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.